Okay, so the new Gemini 2.0 Pro model is out, and you can access it by coming into AI Studio now and coming down to Gemini Pro Experimental 0205. Google's released a bunch of different things today. I'm going to talk about a number of them in this video. But first, let's start off talking about Google's strategy. One of the key things that Google is doing different than a lot of the other companies is they're releasing experimental versions of these models before they go to be GA or generally accessible. So while today we've got GA versions of the Gemini 2 Flash model, the 2.0 Pro model is an experimental model. And the idea here is that Google's looking at iterating heavily over the feedback that they get to improve these models as quickly as possible. So in this video, I want to go through the new 2.0 Pro. Let's put it through its paces. As you can see in AI Studio here, this model has got a 2 million token count. We've got access to tools, code execution, function calling, grounding with Google search, all of the things that we had in the Pro 1.5 model. And this model has been improved for tasks like coding, general reasoning, and generally just where you want a model with a bit more grunt than something like the Flash model. Okay, so let's look at the family of Gemini models that has come out today. So for a start, if you've already been using the 1.5 Flash or the 1.5 Pro, don't worry, they're not going away. You'll still be able to use them for quite some time to come. But we've got three major additions to the family today. The first one is that the Gemini 2.0 Flash model that has been in preview is now generally accessible, right? This has now gone GA. This means that it's going to be in AI Studio where you can use it, probably with better rate limits, etc. It's going to be in Vertex where you can use it for production grade apps. It's also going to be available in the Gemini consumer app that people use both on the web and I think on their phones and stuff as well. The second Flash model that's coming out in public preview today is the new 2.0 Flash Lite. This is kind of a replacement for the Flash 8B, if you used that in the past, the 1.5 Flash 8B. And the idea here is that this is the least expensive Gemini model out there. It's very high throughput. It's made for when you want a really quick model that can do a variety of different tasks. Now, it looks like the new Flash Lite model is not going to be multimodal. It's just going to be text, and it's just optimized purely for those text uses, etc. And of course, the big model coming out today is the Gemini 2.0 Pro models. So this is experimental, but it's both available in AI Studio as well as Vertex. It has a 2 million token context window. This is a fully multimodal model. It can handle audio, it can handle images, it can handle video, etc. And it's also got all the features for things like function calling, structured outputs, tool use, search grounding, etc. for all these kind of things. So let's jump into having a play with the Gemini 2.0 Pro model and see what it actually can do. Okay, so I've been looking around for prompts to try out and things to try out. One of the ones that I came across was this one from O3 Mini about building like a snake game, but where there's 100 snakes. I think it originally started from this tweet here to basically create an autonomous snake game where the snakes are competing with each other. All right, so I started with a simple prompt, create an autonomous snake game where 100 snakes compete with each other. Check it out with code execution, use Pygame. Sure enough, it's used Pygame. It's basically put together a whole bunch of stuff. If I scroll down to the bottom, you can see then it's going to actually explain to us what it did. And it talks about the things that it did with grid size, grid width, etc. going through this. And I like that it even thought about handling a game over screen and a restart and a whole bunch of these different things. All right, so I threw it in here. I tried it once and it had one simple error, which actually was quite easy to fix. But then running it, I got this. So you can see here it's 100 snakes playing off against each other. The difference, I think, with this one and one of the ones people posted was that there were lots of apples. In this one, they're all competing for the same apple. And you'll see that it just goes on and on to there's two left. Oh, and finally we've got one left. And this one's going to keep going until it runs into itself in there. hopefully we'll do it soon, because then we can see that it's actually going to restart the game. All right, so finally it crashed. All right, and we've got the game over. We can see that the winner snake was snake 99 and the score was 65. Pretty impressive just for a very short prompt. And one of the things I wanted to show you that really I find impressive about this, and this is the same for a lot of these, is that if you look at that really short prompt, that short prompt generated out just under sort of 5,000 tokens. And this is a very common thing that I'm seeing when I'm trying these things out, that from often a very short prompt, you can get sort of 6,000, 7,000 tokens coming out here. Okay, so if you look here, I've got a pretty simple sort of prompt. This is one of the prompts that I use for testing the reasoning models. And remember, this Gemini Pro 2.0 here is not necessarily a reasoning model, and it's not even like a fully finished model. This is an experimental model here. So if we run this in a normal sort of LLM, actually, let's try it in Gemini 1.5 Pro so that you can see actually what's going on there. So here, for a start, notice that the generation is actually a lot slower than the 2.0. But what I want you to see here is, and I'm going to let this run just to see how many tokens we get out of this. All right, we've come to the end and we've gotten 982 tokens out here. Let's take the exact same thing, clear this. All right, now let's run the exact same thing with the Gemini 2.0 Pro model, just so that you can see the difference. So for a start, you're going to see that it's generating much quicker than before. So that already alone is impressive. But you'll see that in many ways, it acts more like a reasoning model in that it just has these longer traces of thinking and longer elements of generation out here. So the other one, we weren't even at 1,000 tokens. Yet this one, we can see that we're already well over 2,000 tokens. And this is one of the things I found in my testing to be quite consistent, that the model has no problems generating out a lot of tokens for something that you want. Okay, so now I'm just going to ask it to basically, again, I'm just giving it a very short thing to take this information and write a thesis about this. Now, this is one of the other interesting things, is that it will often come back to us and suggest different ideas for this. Okay, let's just go for option 5, please. Okay, so after a number of interactions, now it's actually started on writing the paper. It's got an abstract, an introduction, etc. It's going through this, and we're getting right through to the ending. So you can see now with just a couple of prompts, I'm almost at 6,000 tokens just for this alone. Okay, so another interesting one that I came across on Twitter was from Paige Bailey, showing that where people were sort of comparing DeepSeek and O3 Mini to make this sort of rotating hexagon. And Paige had basically gone and done it and put the code up there. And she did it with the Gemini 2.0 thinking model. The thinking model is a very impressive model, right? What I thought we'd do is, can we make this in this sort of style of 100 snakes? Can we make this sort of go to the next level? So what I did was I took her code, I basically put it in here. I got the model to actually generate some stuff out of this. And I basically added in that, look, can you take this code, but add PyGUI controls to add more balls and change the rotation speed to this. So it's given us some code out. It's explained what it's done in here and the changes that it's made. All right, so let's copy this over and actually see how well does this work. So you can see it's not hugely longer or anything. I've just got bouncing balls, so Python. All right, let's see what we get out of this. All right, so we've got something very similar to what Paige had, except now we've got some controls over it. So let's see if it works. Sure enough, we can add in a second ball. We can add in a third ball. And we can also then start to speed this up. And sure enough, it's working. So I guess the next thing would be to maybe make different colored balls or something like that. But I'll consider this one a success, right? That it really has the ability to iterate on things that you've already got. And this is one of the things that I noticed quite a lot using this model. You can see here, I've tried out a number of different sort of bouncing ball sorts of things, some in P5.js, etc., just to see how it went. But look at that. It's able to generate 6,000 tokens out just from this prompt in here. That's pretty amazing. And when it's generating the code, it really flies at being able to do this. Just to give you a sense of the speed in here, if I come in and run this, you'll see that it flies through at being able to generate what's going on here. Now, if you turn on the code execution first, you'll often see a pause where it's obviously testing things out in the code execution, and then all the code will come through at one shot, which can be pretty amazing as well. So this one is regenerating the one that I talked about before. Let's see how many tokens it gets to with this implementation. Okay, this time it came in quite a bit shorter at about 4,700 tokens. Okay, so along with being really good for coding, you can see in the blog post that they've released here that actually these models are also going to support image output and audio output. So these are not available GA yet, but they're coming to both the 2.0 Flash and the 2.0 Experimental Pro model as well. You can see the other big difference for the 2.0 Pro model is you're actually getting 2 million tokens for input in there. Now, the third model that's come out today is the Flash Lite Preview. So you can see that the idea here is that this model is just an extremely fast text model. It's going to have things like structured outputs, function calling, but it's not going to support things like the code execution or audio output, image output, etc. The idea there is that it's just a cheap, very fast text model. So along with the announcement of the new models today, we've also seen Google announce some of the pricing for the Flash model and the Flash Lite model. Obviously, the Pro is still in experimental phase, so the pricing is not out for that yet. Okay, so on top of all of these being available in AI Studio, they're also available in Vertex. So if you want to try out the new Gemini 2.0 models today, you can also come into Vertex and they're already available in here. So you've got the new Flash 2.0 Flash 001. This is GA and fully available to everyone. You've got the Pro 2.0, which I've been talking about in this video a lot. And then the other one that you've got is the Flash Lite Preview. So this is like the replacement for the 8B model. Perhaps the size of the model has changed, etc. But this, again, is your really fast model. And this has come out today where you can actually try this in preview, see what you think of it, give feedback, etc. So you're not only limited to using these in AI Studio, you can actually go to Vertex now and put these into production for whatever you want to use them for. All right, as always, if you found the video useful, please click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.